Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are on a reading stream tonight. Hope everyone is doing well, looking after yourselves most of all. And tonight, what we're going to be reading this evening, we'll not be playing any games whatsoever. It's a reading stream. Welcome on through, which reminds me I should probably get the book, eh? Hold on now. Let me go and get the book real quick. Okay, I have acquired the book. So I just wanna apologize in advance to don't mind the birthday stuff. It's my daughter's 5th birthday today. And she told us not to take decorations down. But yeah, this evening we will be continuing reading with The Hobbit. Now I do apologize, YouTube. I know this is your first reading stream. Hey, what's up, Roy Vane? Lucky me, a morning stream. Hey, what's up, Roy Vane? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. So we're on chapter 11 for The Hobbit. So they're just getting to the Lonely Mountain now. Hey, thank you, Beard. DeHarvey. Yeah, she turned 5 today. She doesn't start school till next year. We decided to just keep her in her current situation just for now till the end of the year, because it's almost up anyway. But yeah, good to see everyone. Hope everyone had a lovely day. I apologize for no carving today. I did an interview / podcast today with someone here, and genuinely I try to make time for the people that reach out for those types of things. And yeah, just got that done. Chilled out with the family, celebrated my daughter's birthday. And yeah, now we're here. Alright. But yeah, before we start, you probably just chill out for another 2 minutes. It's good to see everyone again. Good to see everybody. What you been up to? What did you get up to today? I have been genuinely enjoying YouTube this week as well. We've been sending it pretty hard with YouTube and seeing the benefits of it too. Big love from the UK. Oh, much love, brother. Geez, will be what, 10:30 there? Or 11:30 maybe? Hope all is well in the UK too, my bro. Okay. We're going to start reading soon, chat. But yeah, this evening we are live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. I was going to go live on TikTok, but my battery's flat. So, yeah, I'm with you three tonight. Yo, Captain Fuzzy Face. Thank you very much for the aroha, my bro. Getting us started for the evening as well. Shit, we're almost at 500 too. Thank you, brother. Happy birthday, Adundum. It was my daughter's birthday today. She turned 5. And we were specifically told not to take the decorations down. I was like, bruh, take them off. Take them off, Mo. So if you're just tuning in, you've kind of joined us on a reading stream. This is something new that I've brought to the channel, and I got asked to read The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings saga, so I thought we'd start at The Hobbit first. So I do apologize to YouTube. We've been through quite a bit as it is, and we're just getting to the part where they get to the Lonely Mountain. Yo, Captain Hook.
Gove the lil one extra present, bro. Greetings.
Oh, thank you, brother. Genuinely, bro, when people do that, I will probably give all of it to her. As a man of my word, my bro. Thank you very much for the aroha, brother. So, yeah, we're on chapter 11. I think it's safe to say we can start now. Let me just have a drink, and then we'll send it. Okay. In 2 days, they rode right up the long lake and passed out into the river running. And now they could all see the lonely mountain towering grim and tall before them. The stream was strong and they're going slow. At the end of the 3rd day, some miles up the river, they drew in to the left of the western bank and disembarked. Hey, cheers, brother Chef. Hope you're doing good too, my brother. Here they were joined by the horses with other provisions and necessaries, and the ponies for their own use. They had been sent to meet them. They packed what they could on the ponies, and the rest was made into a store under a tent. But none of the men of the town would stay with them even for the night. So near the shadow of the mountain, not at any rate until the songs have come true. Said it was easier to believe in the dragon and less easy to believe in Soren in these wild parts. Indeed, their stories had no need of any guard, for all the land was desolate and empty. So their escort left them, making off swiftly down the river and the shoreward paths. Although the night was already drawing on, they spent a cold and lonely night, and their spirits fell. The next day they set out again. Balin and Bilbo rode behind, each leading another pony heavily laden beside him. The others were some way ahead, picking out a slow road, for there were no paths. They made northwest, slanting away from the river running, and drawing ever nearer and nearer to the great spur of the mountain that was flung out southwards towards them. We're getting to the mountain. Hiya mate, just came to tell you that you're an amazing person and we need more people like you in the world. Hey, it's your wrinkly ninja. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you for the kind words, my bro. And hello, imminent flight. Cheer, bro. Hey, Crip City. Yeah, we're reading The Hobbit, my bro. I started this a while back. I genuinely try, or should be, like, doing evening streams for this book every evening, but sometimes I might be too tired, or sometimes I might... Okay, I'll tell the truth. Sometimes I might be just deep in League of Legends, eh? Okay, for the entirety of Worlds, that's the reason why I didn't touch the book. Okay? That's why I wasn't reading for, like, what, a month? I think? Okay, and we're carrying on. I have some Lord of the Rings tattoos. Oh, what you got, brother? I'd like to get, probably something like Gandalf, eh? Probably his hat and staff. It was a weary journey, and quite a stealthy one. There was no laughter or song or sound of harps, and the pride and hopes which had stirred in their hearts in the singing of old songs by the lake died away to a plodding gloom. They knew they were drawing near to the end of their journey, and that it might be a very horrible end. The land about them grew bleak and barren, though once, as Thorin told them, it had been green and fair. There was a little grass, and before long there was neither bush nor tree, and only broken and blackened stumps to speak of ones long vanished. They were come to a desolation of the dragon, and they were come at the warning of the year. Sorry, I'm a bit illiterate too. How's the stream? You should check out the new game called Arc Raiders. I have been playing Arc Raiders. I don't game on this YouTube channel though. I feel like I should either keep it at carving and IRL stuff, and probably just reading too. I feel like if I put gaming on my YouTube channel, it'd be a weird mix. Oh, I'm not sure. That's kind of how I think of it anyway. Is that a bad thinking? But yeah, it's been fun. I've been enjoying Arc Raiders. Hey, what up, Chris? Much love to you too, my brother. Here we go. They reached the skirts of the mountain all the same without meeting any danger or any sign of the dragon, other than the wilderness he had made about his lair. The mountain lay dark and silent before them and ever higher above them. They made their first camp on the western side of the great southern spur, which ended in a height called Raven Hill. On this there had been an old watch post, but they dared not climb it yet. It was too exposed. Before setting out to search the western spurs of the mountain for the hidden door, on which all their hopes rested, Thorin sent out a scouting expedition to spy out the land to the south, where the front gate stood. For this purpose he chose Balin, Fili, and Kili, and with them went Bilbo. They marched under the grey and silent cliffs of the feet of Raven Hill. There the river and the winding of a wide loop over the valley of Dale turned from the mountain on its road to the lake, flowing swift and noisily. Its banks was bare and rocky, tall and steep above the stream, and gazing out from it over the narrow water, foaming and splashing among many boulders, they could see the wide valley shadowed by the mountain's arms, and grey ruins of ancient houses, towers and walls. "Aye, there lie all that is left of Dale," said Balin. "The mountain sides with green woods and the sheltered valleys, rich and pleasant in the days where the bells rang in the town." Okay, he looked both sad and grim, and he said this. He had been one of Thorin's companions on the day the dragon came. Balin's one of my favourites too, he's a badass. They did not dare to follow the river much further towards the gate, but they went on beyond and the end of the southern spur, until lying hidden behind a rock they could look out and see the dark cavernous opening in a great cliff wall between the arms of the mountain. Out of it the waters of the running river sprang, and out of it too there came a steam and a dark smoke. Nothing moved in the waste, save the vapour and the water. And every now and again a black and ominous crow. The only sound was the sound of the stony water, and every now and again the harsh croak of a bird. Balin shuddered. Ooh. Yeah, bro. So my favorites in the dwarf crew, Balin and Thorin Oakenshield, and then the obvious being Gandalf. "Let us return," he said. "We can do no good here, and I don't like the dark birds. They look like spies of evil. The dragon is still alive in the holes under the mountain. They know, I imagine so, from the smoke." Oh, that was frickin' Bilbo. I thought it was Balin. My bad. "This does not prove it," said Balin, "though I don't doubt you are right. But we might be going away some time, or he might be laying out on the mountainside keeping watch. And still I expect smoke and steams would come out of the gates, and all the halls within be filled with his foul creak." Yeah, Aragorn's my favourite in Lord of the Rings. He's the man. With such a gloomy thoughts, followed ever by croaking crows above them, they made their weary way back to the camp. Only in June they had been guests in a fair house of Elrond, and though autumn was now crawling towards winter, their pleasant time now seemed years ago. They were only in perilous wastes without hope or further help. They were at the end of their journey, but far as ever it seemed from the end of their quest. None of them had such spirit left. Now, strange to say, Mr. Baggins had more than the others. He would often borrow Thorin's map and gaze at it, pondering over the runes and the message on the moon letters Elrond had read. It was he that made the dwarves begin the dangerous search of the western slopes for the search of the door. Do you have anywhere I can send? I have Discord. One moment, let me get that for you. Just jump in. Oh, chuck it in here for you, brother. There you go. Okay, carrying on. How we doing, chat? All good? Just want to make sure. They moved their camp then to a long valley, narrower than the great dale in the south where the gates of the river stood, and walled with lower spurs of the mountains. Two of these here thrust forward west from the main mass in long, steep-sided ridges. They fell ever downwards towards the plain. Damn, okay. Sorry, I was just looking at the words again. On their western side there were fewer signs of the dragon's marauding feet, and there was some grass for the ponies. From the western camp, shadowed all day by a cliff and a wall, until the sun began to sink towards the forest. Day by day they toiled in parties, searching for paths up the mountain side. If the map was true, somewhere high above the cliff, at the valley's head, must stand the secret door. Day by day they came back to their camp without success, but at last, unexpectedly, they found what they were seeking. Philly and Killian the Hobbit went back one day down the valley and scrambled among the tumbled rocks at their southern corner, about midday, creeping behind a great stone. That stone stood alone like a pillar. Bilbo came on what looked like rough steps going upwards. Following these excitedly, he had the dwarves found traces of a narrow track. Often lost, often rediscovered, they wandered on the top of the southern ridge and brought them at last to a still narrow ledge. We turned north across the face of the mountain. Looking down, they saw that they were at the top of the cliff at the valley's head, and they were gazing down on their own camp below. Silently, clinging to the rocky wall on their right, they went single file along the ledge till the wall opened and they turned into a little steep walled bay, grassy floored still and quiet. Its entrance, which they had found, could not be seen from below, because of the overhang of the cliff, nor from further off, because it was so small that it looked like a dark crack and no more. It was not a cave, and it was open to the sky above, but at its inner end of the flat wall rose up that in the lower part, close to the ground, was as smooth, as upright as mason's work, but without a joint or crevice to be seen. No sign that there of post or lintel or threshold, nor any sign of a bar or bolt or keyhole. Yet they did not doubt that they had found the door at last. Holy confusion! And here's a picture of the mountain. There you go. Of the front gate. Okay. Ready? They beat on it. They thrust and pushed at it. They implored it to move. They spoke fragments of broken spells of opening, and nothing stirred. At last, tired out, they rested on the grass at its feet. Then in the evening began their long climb down. There was excitement in the camp that night. In the morning they prepared to move once more. Only Boffa and Bomba were left behind to guard the ponies, and such stores as they had brought them with them from the river. The others were down in the valley and up the newly found path, and so to the narrow ledge. Along this they could carry no bundles or packs, So narrow and breathless was it, with a fall of 150 feet beside them, on the sharp rocks below. But each of them took a good coil of rope, wound tight about his waist, and so, at last, without mishap, they reached the little grassy bay. Got Pirates of the Caribbean on you? Bro, that sounds cool. I love The Hobbit. The only thing with me and my dad and Harry Potter. Oh, nice, Val. Yeah, I can fully understand that, my bro. I hope I do it good for you, brother. Yeah, I haven't, I'll be honest, I haven't read books since like primary school. Obviously, I was wood carving through high school. Here we go. There, they made their third camp. Hello, Gogo. Big fan of solo leveling? Yeah, Iron's my favourite character because he's a papega. And he's sword and board all day. Or sword and board, hammer, axe. And he just screams for nothing, and I love that about Iron. But the Grand Marshal's one of my favourite characters too. I won't say anything just in case people haven't seen it. Wrinkly Ninja! Thank you very much for the Optimus Prime. Thank you very much, brother. How are you? I'm doing good. I had a busy day today. You can probably see the birthday sign behind me. It's my daughter's 5th birthday today. Well, for one more hour. So it's been a busy day today, but, you know, core memory kind of good day. So I really appreciate the day I had with my girl today. Okay, here we go. There they made their third camp, hauling up and they needed from what they needed from below with their ropes. Down the same way, they were able occasionally to lower one or more active dwarves, such as Killy, to exchange such news as there was, or to take a share in the guard below. While Boffa was hauled up to the higher camp, Bomba would not come up either the rope or the path. Bomba's like the big one, eh? How did you like? I haven't heard of my bro. I haven't heard it. Hey, thank you very much, brother Reeks. Happy birthday to your daughter. Thank you, brother. Yeah, me and another bro, another streamer bro, Solly Kifs, our daughters share the same birthday. All the way from Sweden. Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you very much, guys, for the birthday wishes. Yeah, she pretty much just, yeah, she got presents. Like, well, this one, you can probably see that. That's a water dispenser. And that's what she wanted, along with king prawns. And, like, you know, other things from her auntie, her grandmother. But yeah, she likes little knick-knacky stuff. So it was, like, kind of easy. Yo, what up, brother Ben? Hope you're doing good too, my bro. Big Ben. Okay. Oh, it's your mum's birthday yesterday? Happy birthday to mum, brother. Much love, my bro. Okay. Ready? I gotta try and do Bomber's voice. Oh, I'm too fat for such fly walks, he said. I should turn dizzy and tread on my beard, and then you would be 13 again. And the knotted ropes are too slender for my weight. Luckily for him, that was not true, as you will see. In the meanwhile, some of them explored the ledge beyond the opening and found a path that led higher and higher onto the mountain. But they did not dare to venture very far that way, nor was there much use in it. Out up there silence reigned, broken by no bird or sound except that of the wind in the crannies of stone. I'll get to that soon. They spoke lower and never called or sang, for danger brooded in every rock. The others who were busy with the secret of the door had no more success. They were too eager to trouble about the runes or the moon letters. Thank you, brother Jack Mitten, for the Optimus Prime, brother. Thank you very much, good sir. Brox, I do this thing called the Western Beach Race in the UK on dirt bikes. How much to make a trophy for us? Ooh, okay. Geez, we'll have to keep in touch for this, because normally around this time I don't really take commissions, brother. Broxcarver@gmail.com, all one word, BROXH and Carver, like the word, and we can chat more there, brother. So I can think of it now. I could do a fiku with like handlebars up the top, and the tongue can be the front, like dirt bike's front wheel. Greetings from Australia. Hope you're having a good evening. Hey, what's up, brother Jack? Aussie, 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 eh? Hope you're good over the ditch, my bro, or over the pond. Is there a way to know where he's at? We can follow along. So they just found the door into the Lonely Mountain, so they're trying to figure it out. Just wondering, yeah, bro, yeah, hit us up on the email, there we can chat more, brother. All good. True dirt bike, say, check old crusty demon out. Yeah. I just heard you one time many years ago, the guy who asked to give him money back. I didn't know, but I subscribed to you back then. So I got a notification. What's up, D Parker? Well, welcome back after 5 years, my bro. I am reading. So yeah, this year's or this part of the year, I've been trying to branch out with what I stream, and a lot of people have been asking me to read books. I'm not the best reader, I'll say that much. Um, but I thought I'd give it a go. And yeah, even next year I want to try new things as well for myself. Obviously, I'll still be doing Whakairo, but I've been streaming it full time for 5 years, and I kind of want to mix it up a bit more. Definitely, bro. Yeah, sorry, Jack. Yeah, so they just found the door and they're trying to figure out how to open it. Welcome through, Ms. Bosch. Tattoos and Iron. Yeah, brother, I'll definitely check it out, my bro. Okay, we ready? So they're trying to figure out the moon letters for the door. Here we go. What's up, Papa Joseph? But tried without resting to discover where exactly in the smooth face of the rock the door was hidden. There we go. They had brought picks and tools of many sorts from Lake Town, and at first they tried to use them. But when they struck the stone, the handle splintered and jarred their arms cruelly, and the steel heads broke or bent like lead. Mining work, they saw clearly, was no good against the magic that had shut this door, and they grew terrified too of the echoing noise. Oh, they're waking up old mate in the mountain, eh? Oh, thank you, Timothy. Yeah, bro, I think a lot of people just wanted to hear me read, and I thought to myself, you know what? Let's send it. But are you gonna play Arc Raiders? Most likely. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my reading days. I'm only doing tonight because I didn't stream today, and because it was my daughter's birthday, as you can see behind me. All best to you, good. Hey, D Parker, have a good one, my brother. And yeah, just join the stream anytime, my bro. We should be back to wood carving tomorrow at about 9:30. So it's 11:13 p.m. for me right now. So in a couple hours, brother. I will see you around, eh? Lost a lot of weight. PG, yeah, I'm doing a calorie deficit right now. It's mainly just for myself and my brother-in-law's wedding in Jan. So we're waiting at like 146. We hit 138 this morning. But we're probably going up to 140 again after the birthday festivities. Okay, Bilbo found sitting on the doorstep, lonesome and wearisome. There was not a doorstep, of course. Really? But they used to call the little grassy space between the wall and the opening the doorstep in fun. Remembering Bilbo's words long ago at the unexpected party in his hobbit hole, when he said they could sit on the doorstep till they thought of something, and sit and think they did, or wandered aimlessly about, and glummer they became. Their spirits had risen a little at the discovery of the path, but now they sank into their boots, and yet they would not give it up and go away. The hobbit was no longer much brighter than the dwarves. He would do nothing but sit with his back to the rock face and stare away west through the opening, over the cliff, over the wide lands to the black wall of Mirkwood, and to the distance beyond, in which sometimes thought he could catch glimpses of the misty mountains, small and far. If the dwarves asked him what he was doing, he answered, You said sitting on the doorstep and thinking would be my job, not to mention getting inside. So I'm sitting and I'm thinking. But I am afraid he was not thinking much of the job. For there lay beyond the blue distance the quiet western land and the hill and his hobbit hole under it. A large grey stone lay in the centre of the grass, and he stared moodily at it. Watched the great snails, they seemed to love the little shut in the bay, with the walls of cool rock, and there were many of them, of huge size, crawling slowly and stickingly along the sides. Old mate's about to find it, eh? Tomorrow begins the last week of autumn, said Thorin one day, and winter comes after autumn. Oh, and winter comes after autumn, said Biffa. And next year after that, said Dwalin. And our beards will grow till they hang down to the cliff to the valley before anything happens here. What is our burglar doing for us? Since he has got an invisible ring and ought to be a specially excellent performer now. I am beginning to think he might go through the front gate and spy things out a bit. Bilbo heard this. The dwarves were on the rocks just above the enclosure where he was sitting, and good gracious, he thought. So that is what is beginning to think, is it? It is always poor me that has to go get them out of the difficulties. At least since the wizard left, whatever am I going to do? I might have known that something dreadful would happen to me in the end. I don't think I could bear to see unhappy Valley of Dale again. As for that steaming gate, that night he was very miserable and hardly slept. Next day the dwarves all went wandering off in various directions. Some were exercising the ponies down below, some were roving about the mountain side. All day Bilbo sat gloomingly in the grass bay, gazing at the stone. Out west through the narrow opening, he had a queer feeling that he was waiting for something. Perhaps the wizard will suddenly come back today, he thought. If he lifted his head, he could see a glimpse in the distant forest. As the sun turned west, there was a gleam of yellow upon it, a far roof, as if the light caught the last pale leaves. Soon he saw the orange ball of sun sinking toward the levels of his eyes. He went to the opening there, pale and faint, with a thin new moon above the rim of the earth. At the very moment he heard a sharp crack behind him. There on the grey stone in the grass was an enormous thrush, nearly coal-black and pale yellow breast freckled with dark spots. Crack it had caught a snail, was knocking it on the stone. Crack, crack. Suddenly Bilbo understood. Forgetting all danger, he stood on the ledge and hailed the dwarves, shouting and waving. Hello from France. Just saw the video on Instagram. Didn't know before. Seemed like such a good vibe here. Hey, welcome through, Valpapo. Yeah, I normally do Whakairo, Maori wood carving. But this is me being good streamer to the community. Ed, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, they wanted me to read. Shit, that was loud. That was bloody loud. I forgot how loud those notifications are. Alright. Here we go. I think this is where they start figuring out how to open the door, right? Because in the movie, right, they had to wait for the last light of Durin's day, but it was the moon. Hey, if I remember correctly, it was the moon that time? Okay, carrying on. Those that were nearest came tumbling over the rocks and as fast as they could along the ledge to him. Wondering what on earth was the matter, the others shouted to be hauled up the ropes, except Bombo, of course. He was asleep. Quickly Bilbo explained. They all fell silent, the hobbits standing by the grey stone, and the dwarves with wagging beards watching impatiently. The sun sank lower and lower, and their hopes fell. It sank into a belt of reddened cloud and disappeared. The dwarves groaned, but still Bilbo stood, almost without moving. The little moon was dipping to the horizon. Even was coming on. Or evening, jeez. Then suddenly, when their hopes were at lowest, a red ray of sun escaped like a finger through a rent in the cloud. A gleam of light came straight through the opening into the bay and fell onto the smooth high perch with beady eyes and the head cocked on the side. Gave a sudden trill. There was a loud crack. A flake of rock split from the wall and fell. A hole appeared suddenly without 3 feet from the ground. What's that shirt? This is a power t-shirt. Quickly, trembling lest then the chance should fade, the dwarves rushed to the rock and pushed in vain. The key, cried Bilbo. Where's Thorin? Thorin, hurry up! The key, shouted Bilbo. The key, they went with the map. Try it now while there's still time. Then Thorin stepped up and drew the key. On its chain from round his neck, he put it in the keyhole. It fitted, and he turned. Snap! The gleam went out, the sun sank, the moon was gone, and evening sprang into the sky. Now they all pushed together, and slowly a part of the rock wall gave way. Long straight cracks appeared and widened. A door 5 feet high and 3 broad was outlined and slowly, without a sound, swung inwards. It seemed as if the darkness flowed out like a vapor from a hole in the mountainside, and deep darkness in which nothing could be seen lay before their eyes, a yawning mouth leading in and down. We were in the mountain, boys. Ooh, how do I say this name? Facility Fazalidi Dvan? Thank you for the Optimus Prime. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. My bad. Yeah, so it's solo leveling X power merch. Have a great rest of your night. Brother Timothy, you have a good night too, my bro. GG. GG, my friend, GG. Alright, we are officially in the mountain. Finally. Okay. Chapter 12. Inside Information. For a long time the dwarves stood in the dark before the door and debated, until at last Thorin spoke. Now it is time for our esteemed Mr. Buggins, who has proved himself a good companion on our long road and a hobbit full of courage, and resources far exceeding his size, if I may say so, possessed of good luck far exceeding the usual allowance. Now is the time for him to perform the service for which he was included in our company. Now it is time for him to earn his reward. You are familiar with Thorin's style on important occasions, so I will not give you any more of it. Though he went on a good deal longer than this, it certainly was an important occasion, but Bilbo felt impatient. By now he was quite familiar with Thorin too, and he knew what he was driving at. If you mean you think this is my job to go into the secret passage first, oh Thorin, Thrain's son Oakenshield, may your beard grow even longer, he said crossly. Say so at once, and I have done. I might refuse. I've got out of 2 messes already, which were hardly in the original bargain, so that I am, I think, already owed some reward. But third time pays for all, as my father used to say, and somehow I don't think I shall refuse. Perhaps I have begun to trust my luck more than I used to in the old days. He meant last spring before he left his own house, but it seemed centuries ago. But anyway, I think I will go and have a peep at once, and get it over. Now who's coming with me? Obviously no one. He did not expect a chorus of volunteers, so he was not disappointed. Philly and Kelly looked uncomfortable and stood on one leg, but the others made no pretense of offering except old Balin, the lookout man, who was rather fond of the hobbit. He said he would come inside at least and perhaps a bit of the way too, ready to call for help if necessary, but the most that can be said for the dwarves is this. They intended to pay Bilbo really handsomely for his services. They had brought him to do a nasty job for them, and they did not mind the poor little fellow doing it if he would. But they would all have done their best to get him out of trouble, if he got into it, as they did in the case of the trolls at the beginning of their adventures, before they had any particular reason for being careful to him. There it is. Dwarves are not heroes, but calculating folks with a great idea of value of money. So some are tricky and treacherous and pretty bad lots. Some are not, but are decent enough people, like Thorin and the company, if you don't expect too much. Yeah, Sunjin Wu. Oh, so it's like solo leveling X Power, which is a gaming org from Aussie. They always send me like their latest drops, which I'm always grateful for from Team Power. Yeah, I'm not part of the organization. I just want to make that very clear. But yeah, they always show love to me. Thank you very much for the love tonight as well. We're at 490. So we're almost at 500. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. The stars were coming up behind them in the pale sky. Yo, Squeaky Pasta! Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome on through. Before we carry on, it is not my birthday. It was my daughter's 5th birthday today. If you see the decor behind me. Well, welcome to the stream. We're doing a bit of a reading stream this evening, going through The Hobbit. We just got into the Lonely Mountain, so Bilbo's getting ready to basically infiltrate where Smaug is. Hope you're having a lovely time. Yeah! Had a pretty good day today. Didn't stream, so it was more so family time today. And here we are. This is me making up for not streaming today with a reading stream. But I hope you had a wonderful stream as well. I hope everyone from the raid is doing good. And welcome on in. And yeah, enjoy the reading stream as well. Hey, what's up, Cerulean Sin? Good to see you, my brother. Man, that's such a cool emote. Hello, Sace. And also, there's Strades. Sorry, I probably said that so wrong, eh? Thank you very much for being here. Yo, Betty Dan, thank you for the 9 months. Congratulations on your sub, baby. I appreciate you. Ray is fine. Oh my gosh, I got it wrong. Yo, what's up, Cherries? Late night stream, bro. Yeah, reading stream, bro. So I'll be adding this to like YouTube as well. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what kind of content other than like carving and IRL stuff I could, contribute towards my YouTube channel. I don't want to add gaming to it because I have a separate YouTube channel for that. Unless, I don't know. I guess I'll ask like YouTube people. I mean, I got mates that are like YouTube mains. Maybe I'll get their advice on it. Cooking. I am going to be purchasing a barbecue to cook through the summer. What are you carving? Nothing tonight, but I am carving a tiki. Okay, should we carry on? Here we go. Stars were coming out behind him in the pale sky, barred with black. When the hobbit crept through the enchanted door and stole into the mountain, it was far easier going than he had expected. There was no goblin entrance or rough wood elves' cave. It was a passage made by dwarves at the height of their wealth and skill. Straight as a ruler, smooth floored and smooth-sided, going with a gentle, never-veering slope direct to some distant end in the blackness below. Aussie veteran who had absolute pleasure and honour to serve the Maori shoulders have been some of your wood carving, wondering if you might be able to carve a Anzac. Anzac? Or like the poppy? Local food be great. I'll be honest, bro. I could take you to see a hangi. You're reading Tolkien, yeah, bro. He's so bloody complicated, eh? Hey, brother David, hope you're doing good, my breather. Good to see you as well. Kia ora. Here we go. After a while, Balin bade Bilbo good luck, and stopped where he could still see the faint outline of the door, and by a trick of the echoes of the tunnel hear and rustle of the whispering voices of the others just outside. There the hobbit slipped on his ring, and warned by the echoes to take more than hobbits care to make no sound, he crept noiselessly down into the dark. He was trembling with fear, but his little face was set and grim. Already he was a very different hobbit from the one that had run out without a pocket handkerchief from the bag end long ago. He had not had a pocket handkerchief for ages. He loosened his dagger in its sheath, tightened his belt, and went on. Now you are in for it at last, Bilbo Baggins, he said to himself. You went and you put your foot right into that knight of the party, and now you've got to pull it out and pay for it. Dear me, what a fool I was, and am, said the least tookish part of him. I have absolutely no use for dragon-guarded treasure, and the whole lot could stay there forever. If only I could wake up and find this beastly tunnel was my own front hall at home. He did not wake up, of course, but went still on and on, till all signs of the door behind him had faded away. He was altogether alone. Soon he thought it was beginning to feel warm. Is this kind of glow? Is that a kind of glow I seem to see coming right ahead down there, he thought. It was. As he went forward, it grew and grew, till there was no doubt about it. It was a red light steadily getting redder and redder. Also was now undoubtedly hot in the tunnel. Wisps of vapor floated up and past him, and he began to sweat. A sound, too, began to throb in his ears, a sort of bubbling like the noise of a large pot galloping on the fire, mixed with the rumble of a gigantic tomcat purring. There grew to the unmistakable gurgling noise of some vast animal snoring in the sleep down there and red glow in front of him. Oh shit, here we go. It was at this point Bilbo stopped. Going on from there was the bravest thing he ever did. The tremendous thing that happened afterwards, where is nothing compared to it. He fought a real battle in the tunnel alone. before ever saw the vast danger that lay in wait. At any rate, after the short halt, go on, he did, and you can picture him coming to the end of the tunnel, an opening of much the same size and shape as the door. Through it peeps the hobbit's little head. Before him lies the great bottommost cellar of the dungeon hall of the ancient dwarves right in the mountain's roots. It was almost dark, so that its vastness can only be dimly guessed. But rising from the rear side on the rocky floor, there's a great glow. The glow of Smaug. Damn! There he lay, a vast red golden dragon. Fast asleep, a thrumming came from his jaws and nostrils, and wisps of smoke. But his fires were low in slumber. Beneath him, under all his limbs and his huge coiled tail, and about him on the walls, stretching away across the unseen floors, lay countless piles of precious things, gold wrought and unwrought, gems and jewels in silver red stained and ruddy light. Smaug lay with wings folded like an immeasurable bat, turned partly on the side so that the hobbit could see his underparts and his long pale belly crusted with gems and fragments of gold. From his long lying on the constant bed, on his costly bed, behind him, where the walls were nearest, could dimly be seen coats of mail, helms, axes, swords and spears hanging, and there in rows stood great jars and vessels filled with wealth that could not be guessed. To say that Bilbo's breath was taken away is no description at all. There are no words left to express his staggerment. Since men changed the language that they learned of elves in the days when all the world was wonderful, Bilbo had heard tell and sing of dragon hordes before, but the splendor, the lust, and the glory of such treasure had never yet come home to him. His heart was filled and pierced with enchantment and with the desire of dwarves as he gazed motionless, almost forgetting the frightful guardian at the gold beyond price and count. Damn, what? That's dragon sickness, eh? One of my favorites, but I heard before on English. My native is Spanish. Oh, killed it, brother. Yeah, bro, this is my first time reading Lord of the Rings. Oh, well, The Hobbit. We're starting with The Hobbit, and then eventually we will move into Lord of the Rings too, my brother. He gazed for what seemed an age. Before drawn almost against his will, he stole from the shadows of the doorway across the floor to the nearest edge of the mound's treasure. Above him the sleeping dragon lay, a dire menace even in his sleep. He grasped a two-handled cup as heavy as he could carry, and cast one fearful eye upwards. Smaug stirred a wing, opened a claw. The rumble of his snoring changed its note. Then Bilbo fled, but the dragon did not wake. Not yet, but shifted into other dreams of greed and violence. Lying there in his stolen hall while the hobbit toiled back up the long tunnel, his heart was beating and more fevered shaking with his legs than when he was going down. But still he clutches the cup, and his chief thought was, I've done it. This will show me more like a grocer than a burglar. Indeed, well, we'll hear no more of that. Nor did he. Balin was overjoyed to see the hobbit again, and as delighted as he was surprised. He picked Bilbo up and carried him out into the open air. It was midnight, and the clouds had covered the stars. But Bilbo lay with his eyes shut, gasping and taking pleasure in the feel of the fresh air again, and hardly noticing the excitement of the dwarves. or how they praised him and patted him on the back and put themselves and all their families for generations to come at his service. Hey, Beemores! The Hobbit is a brilliant book, bro. It's been freaking amazing, bro. Way better than the movie. The dwarves were still passing the cup from hand to hand and talking delightfully of the recovery of their treasure, when suddenly a vast rumbling woke in the mountain underneath, as if it was an old volcano that had made up its mind to start eruptions once again. The door behind them was pulled nearly to and blocked from closing with a stone. But up the long tunnel came the dreadful echoes from far down in the depths of a bellowing and trampling that made the ground beneath them tremble. Then the dwarfs forgot their joy and their confident boast of the moment before and cowered down in fright. Smaug was still to be reckoned with. It does not do. Where was it? It does not do to leave a live dragon out of your calculations. If you live near him, dragons may not have much real use for all their wealth, but they know it to an ounce as a rule, especially after long possession, as Smaug was no exception. He had passed from an uneasy dream in which a warrior altogether insignificant in size but provided with a bitter sword and great courage figured most unpleasantly, to a doze. And from a doze to a wide waking there was a breath of strange air in the cave. Could there be a draught from the little hole? He had never felt quite happy about it, though it was so small, and now he glared at the suspicion and wondered why he had never blocked it up. Of late he had half fancied he had caught the dim echoes of a knocking sound from far above that came down through it to his lair. He stirred and stretched forth his neck to sniff. Then he missed the cup. Damn, so he figured that all out from a bloody cup being taken? Thieves, fire, murder. Such a thing had not happened since first he came to the mountain. His rage passes description, the sort of rage that only seen when rich folk that have more than they can enjoy suddenly lose something they had long had but had never before used or wanted. His fire bleached forth, the hall smoked, he shook the mountain roots, he thrust his head in vain at the little hole, and then coiling his length together, roaring like thunder underground, he sped up from the deep lair, through its great door, out into a huge passage of the mountain palace, and upward towards the front gate. Wait, so out of all of that, he knew someone had taken something. Holy. What skill points did this dragon invest in? Jeepers. To hunt the whole mountain till he had caught the thief, and torn and trampled him with his one thought. He issued from the front gate, the waters rose in fierce whistling steam, and up he soared blazing into the air and settled on the mountain top in a spout of green and scarlet flame. The dwarves heard the awful rumour of his flight, and they crouched against the walls of the grassy terrace, cringing under boulders, hoping somehow to escape the frightful eyes of the hunting dragon. There they would have all been killed, if I had not been for Bilbo once again. Quick, quick, he grasped. The door! The tunnel! It's no good here. Roused by these words, they were just about to creep inside the tunnel, when Biffa gave a cry. My cousins! Bomber! Buffer! We have forgotten them, and they're down in the valley. They will be slain, and all the ponies too, and all our stores lost, moaned the others. We can do nothing. Nonsense, said Thorin, recovering his dignity. We cannot leave them. Get inside, Mr. Baggins and Balin, and you. Are you too, Philly and Killy? The dragon shan't have us all. No, others, where are the ropes? Be quick. Those were perhaps the worst moments they had been through yet. The horrible sounds of Smog's anger were echoing in the stony hollows from above. At any moment he might come blazing down or flying whirling round and find them there, near the perilous cliff's edge, hauling madly on the ropes. Up came Boffa and still all was safe. Up came Bomba, puffing and blowing while the ropes creaked, and still all was safe. Fucking tomcat. Up came some tools and bundles of stores, and then danger was upon them. A whirring noise was heard. A red light touched the points of standing rocks. The dragon, come! They had barely time to fly back into the tunnel, pulling and dragging in their bundles, when Smog came hurtling from the north, licking the mountainside with flame, beating his great wings with a noise like a roaring wind. His hot breath shriveled the grass before the door, and drove in through the crack they had left, and scorched them, as they lay hid. Flickering fires leaped up, and black rock shadows danced. Then darkness fell as he passed again. The ponies screamed with terror, burst their ropes, and galloped wildly off. The dragon swooped and turned to pursue them, and was gone. "That'll be the end of our poor beasts," said Thorin. "Nothing can escape Smaug once he sees it. Here we are, and we shall have to stay, unless anyone fancies being trampled on open miles back to the river with Smaug on the watch." It was not a pleasant thought. They crept further down the tunnel, and there they lay and shivered shivered though it was warm and stuffy, until dawn came pale through the crack of the door. Every now and again, through the night, they could hear the roar of the flying dragon grow and then pass and fade. As he hunted round and round the mountain sides, he guessed from the ponies and from traces of the camps he had discovered that men had come up from the river and the lake and had scaled the mountain side from the valley where the ponies had been standing. But the door withstood his searching eye, and the little high-walled bay had kept out his fiercest flames. Long he had hunted in vain, till the dawn chilled his wrath, and he went back to his golden couch to sleep, and to gather new strength. He would not forget or forgive the thief, not if 1,000 years turned him to smouldering stone, but he could afford to wait. Slow and silent he crept back to his lair, and half closed his eyes. When morning came, the terror of the dwarves grew less. They realized the dangers of the kind were inevitable in dealing with such a guardian, and that it was no good giving up their quest yet. Nor could they get away just now. As Thorin had pointed out, their ponies were lost or killed, and they would have to wait some time before Smaug relaxed his watch sufficiently for them to dare the long way on foot. Luckily, they had saved enough of their stores to last them still for some time. They debated long on what has to be done, or was to be done, but they could think of no way of getting rid of Smaug, which had always been a weak point in their plans, as Bilbo felt inclined to point out. Then, as the nature of folk and they thoroughly perplexed, they began to grumble at the hobbit, blaming him for what had at first so pleased them, for bringing away a cup and stirring up Smaug's wrath too soon. Or so soon. "What else do you suppose a burglar is to do?" asked Bilbo angrily. "I was not engaged to kill dragons. This is warrior's work, but to steal treasure, I made the best beginning I could. Did you expect me to trot back with the whole horde of Thrall on my back? Is there any grumbling to be done?" I think I may have to say you ought to have brought 500 burglars, not one. I'm sure it inflicts great credit on your grandfather, but you cannot pretend that you ever made the vast extent of his wealth clear to me. I should want hundreds of years to bring it all up. If I was 50 times as big as Smaug, as tame as a rabbit, after that, of course, the dwarves begged his pardon. What then do you propose we should do, Mr. Buggins? Asked Thorin politely. Damn, this is the first time he's been polite to me. One moment, I need to get water or drink. Hope everyone is enjoying it though. What's the time? Okay, it's like 10 to 12 soon. Here we go. Thank you very much for the aroha this evening, guys. Where were we? Okay. I have no idea at the moment. If you mean about removing the treasure, that obviously depends entirely on some new turn of luck in getting rid of Smaug. Getting rid of dragons is not all in my line, but I will do my best to think about it. Personally, I have no hopes at all, and I wish I was safe back at home. Never mind that for the moment. What are we to do now today? Well, if you really want advice, I should say we can do nothing but stay where we are. By day, we can no doubt creep out safely enough to take the air. Perhaps before long, one or two could be chosen to go back into the store by the river and replenish our supplies. But in the meanwhile, everyone ought to be well inside the tunnel by night. Now I will make you an offer. I have got my ring, and I will creep down this very soon. Then, if ever Smaug ought to be napping, and see what he's up to, perhaps something will turn up. Every worm has its weak point, as my father used to say, though I am sure it was not from personal experience. Naturally, the dwarves accepted the offer eagerly. Already they had come to respect little Bilbo. Now he had become the real leader in their adventure. He had begun to have ideas and plans of his own. When midday came, he got ready for another journey down into the mountain. He did not like it, of course, but it was not so bad now he knew. More or less, what was in front of him had he known more about dragons and their wily ways, he might have been more frightened and less hopeful of catching this one napping. Hey, Mossflocks? The sun was shining when he started, but it was as dark as night in the tunnel. The light from the door almost closed, soon faded as he went down. So silent was his going that smoke on a gentle wind could hardly have suppressed it or surpassed it. And he was inclined to feel a bit proud of himself as he drew near the lower door. There was only the very faintest glow to be seen. Old Smaug is weary and asleep, he thought. He can't see me, and he won't hear me. Cheer up, Bilbo. He had forgotten or had never heard about dragons. Sense of smell. It is also an awkward fact that they can keep half an eye open, watching while they sleep. That's crazy. Sounds like the way my wife sleeps. if they are suspicious. Smaug certainly looked fast asleep, almost dead and dark, with sincerely a snore more than a whiff of unseen steam. When Bilbo peeped once more from the entrance, he was just about to step out on the floor when he caught a sudden thin and piercing ray of red from under the drooping lid of Smaug's left eye. He was only pretending to sleep. He was watching the tunnel entrance. Hurriedly, Bilbo stepped back and blessed the luck of his ring. Then Smaug spoke. Oh shit, here we go. It's one of your streams. They're always a fun time. Oh, thank you, Jinga. Here we go. Well, thief, I smell you. I feel your air. I hear your breath. Come along. Help yourself again. There is plenty to spare. Yo, Fazita. Oh, happy G-Day. Thank you very much for the 1 year. Thank you very, very much. Hope you're well and hope you've enjoyed your 1 year with the stream. And here's to many more, maybe. Well, thank you very much. Hey, what up, brother Peace? Love you too, my bro. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Was it your birthday? No, that was my daughter. She turned 5 today. Yeah, she turned 5 years old. And yeah, it was pretty much just a big family day for me. Offline, pretty much. Offline day. And yeah, I'm just doing a evening stream tonight to make up for it. Hope you're well, bros. Good to see you both in Prodigy too, even though I'm burnt out on RP. Oh, it was your birthday yesterday. Oh, cheer, happy birthday, my bro. The good ones are born in November. Well, this one's frickin' Donny Thornberry mixed with a whole box of frickin' firecrackers in girl form. Adventures of Khaleesi. Kia ora on YouTube, my bro. How you doing? Yeah, so I pretty much had a good day with her and just celebrating her as a whole. Oh wow, that's adorable. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to move. Was that a swear? Shut up, Pez. No one cares. Yeah, so that's all her stuff behind me that she got. She legit wanted a water dispenser and a whole bucket of king prawns. That's like her thing, man, king prawns. I mean, it's better than buying a whole lot of crap. Toxic. What are you up to tonight, bros? Brox, can you say for 5 gifted subs? I'm doing the Pez. This is okay. I'm doing the Pez tactics. Okay, guys, I'm at 491. You know, you're close to 500. If you got a bit of a gifty poo, then I will say thank you. That's it. That's the Pez tactic, eh? I've got a new alert, guys. All you have to do is gift a certain amount of subs to find it. Hey, that's usually how they do it. Can you say what up to Jack? Funny enough, that used to be my wife's surname as well. I used to always say, look, it's your cousin Jack when I watched the streams. Even when she saw me at PAX, I was like, he's your cousin, he's a Hudson. Anyway, Haru's a cunt. Sorry, America, it's a normal word here. Love your content and energy, man. Good vibes all around. He planning a visit out here. Very excited. What are your top recommendations? I definitely think you should go to Queenstown. Depending on the year, if you're gonna come over to NZ in the winter time, that's the best place to go down to in the winter. It's just like a whole different world down there. Even so, doing the Milford Sound travel, like it's 250 k's there and back. But all the stops along the way are worth it. We stopped at where they shot Ministerith for Gondor. So I stopped there and just took it all in, bro. It was cool. Do I still have the photo? Yes, I do. Let me show you. Look, this is me in Gondor. I was doing a peru, but yeah, I was pretty much where they shot Ministerith for Gondor. There I am, doing a peru. But yeah, this was a stop, like a couple k's out from Milford Sound. So when you're about to go there, oh shit, I just dropped my phone. You drive into a mountain and it's like a K. You're driving down and down, and when you get out on the other side, different world, bro. It's like waterfalls on the sides of the mountains, and as you go down more and more, it keeps changing. What was their second? So when you go to Queenstown, there's a thing everyone does down there is goes to Milford Sound. There's tour buses, you can drive there yourself. It is a full day travel though. We left there like 6 a.m. and we got back at 6 p.m. Like that's our like the traveling, doing the tour on the boat, just seeing the whole Milford Sound, or seeing the sounds as a whole. Um, Other things you can do there is like the ski field. So they got skiing and snowboarding fields down there too. Helicopter rides up to the Fox Glacier or up into the mountains. They just got a whole lot of tourist stuff too. Like there's a lot of tracks there, good food places. Genuinely, it's probably one of my favorite places in the country. Can I see you did the haka and got rid of the Orcs box? You have to go to Milford Sound around 9 a.m. to beat the tourists. Yeah, yeah. I actually have some footage on my camera of when we went to Milford Sound. Maybe I should upload that to YouTube, eh? What do you think? Should I? I mean, it is IRL stuff, and that's kind of the stuff I want to push on my YouTube channel. Also, if you're not part of the YouTube channel already, if I can get at least 1 subscriber every day, then I'll be that'll be much appreciated. Okay, yeah, I'll go through my vlogging camera and I'll upload all the footage from my mine and my wife's honeymoon, because that's where we pretty much spent our honeymoon. We weren't really out here trying to go outside the country. We just pretty much went to somewhere we wanted to go to, pretty much. Okay. People in India, house in Queenstown that is constantly rented out. Bro, I'd love to have a freaking house in Queenstown to rent out an Airbnb as well. If I ever won the lotto, man, I'd probably do that. Like buy a house for me and my family up here, and then one down there, and rent it out. That'll be cool, bro. Oh, that'll be so cool. Damn, lucky of you, my bro. Very lucky. This will be added solo trip for me. Definitely adding that one to the list. Yeah, bro, definitely do that. Like when it comes to like if you want to see more of the cultural side of our country, where I live right now in Rotorua is basically the heart of Maori tourism. So this is basically where Maori tourism is in Rotorua. Glad I came across you. Hey, Ms. Bosch, you have a good one, eh? And I'll see you later. If you ever want to tune into the stream again, catch us in about 10.5 hours from now. I know, very specific, eh? Okay, let's carry on, eh? But Bilbo was not quite so unlearned in dragon lore. As all that, and if Smaug hoped to see him, to get him to come nearer so easily, he was disappointed. No thank you, O Smaug the Tremendous, he replied. I did not come from presents. I only wished to have a look at you and see if you were truly as great as tales said. I did not believe them. Do you now? Said the dragon, somewhat flattered, and even he did not believe a word of it. Truly, songs and tales fall utterly short of the reality, O Smaug, the chiefiest and greatest of calamities, said Bilbo, fucking glazer. You have the manners of a thief. You have nice manners for a thief and a liar, said the dragon. You seem familiar with my name, but I do not seem to remember smelling you before. Who are you and where do you come from, may I ask? Fuck that voice. You may indeed. I come from under the hill. And under the hills and over the hills my fathers led, and through the air I am here, he that walks unseen. So I can well believe, said Smaug, but that is hardly your usual name. I am the clue finder, the web cutter, the stinging fly. I am the chosen for the lucky number. Lovely titles, sneered the dragon. But luckily numbers don't always come off. Far out. Hey, Tree Fitty. Catchy name. Taking love from the neighbors and Oz. Hey, what's up, Hilo? I appreciate you, my brother. Where was I? I am he that buries his friends alive and drowns them and draws them alive again from the water. I came from the end of a bag, but not a bag went over me. These don't sound so creditable, scoffed Smaug. I am the friend of bears and the guest of eagles. I am ring winner and luck wearer. I am barrel rider. Went on Bilbo, beginning to be pleased with his with his riddling. That's better, but I don't let your imagination run away with you. This, of course, is the way to talk to dragons. If you don't want to reveal your proper name, which is wise, and you don't want to infuriate them by a flat refusal, which is also very wise, no dragon can resist the fascination the fascination of riddling talk and of wasting time trying to understand it. There was a lot of here which Smaug did not understand at all, though I expect you do. Since you know all about Bilbo's adventures to which he was referring. But he thought he understood enough, and he chuckled in his wicked inside. Hello, Brock's greetings from Poland. Kia ora, brother. Good evening. How you doing? Finally managed to catch my guy alive. What book you got? We got The Hobbit. So we've been reading through The Hobbit for a while now. This is my first reading stream for YouTube. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully people enjoy it when they listen to it. If they do get this far in the VOD. Go out, everybody. What's up, Blodio? Where are we? I thought so last night, he smiled to himself.
Lakemen so nasty to scheme of miserable tubbing trading lakemen, or I'm a lizard. I haven't been down that way for an age, and an age I will soon alter that. Very well, Barrel Rider, he said out loud. Maybe Barrel was your pony's name, and maybe not, though it was fat enough. You may walk unseen, but you did not walk all the way. Let me tell you, I ate 6 ponies last night, and I shall catch and eat all the others before long.
This guy, what an edgelord.
In return for the excellent meal I was given, I will give you one piece of advice for your good. Don't have more to do with dwarves that can help.
Dwarves? Said Bilbo, in pretended surprise.
Don't talk to me, said Smaug. I know the smell and taste of dwarf no one better. Don't tell me that I can eat a dwarf-ridden pony and not know it. You'll come to a bad end if you go with such friends. Thief! Barrel Rider! I don't mind if you go back and tell them. So for me. Damn.
But he did not tell Bilbo that there was one smell he could not make out of all. Hobbit smell. It was quiet outside his experience and puzzled him mightily. I suppose you got a fair price for that cup last night, he went on. Come now, did you? Nothing at all? Well, that was just like them. Am I supposed to be skulking outside and your job is to do all the dangerous work and get what you can when I'm not looking for them? And you will get a fair share, don't you believe it? If you get off alive, you'll be lucky. Where are we? I was wondering if there was a Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit. Thank you for clarifying before I asked. W Streamer. Oh, gee, bloody Excited for the reading stream? Yeah, so we normally do these Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday nights, pretty much. Just to give myself a break in between. I might just be selfish and have a gaming stream in between. But yeah, for now, because I missed the day, because I spent the day with my daughter for her birthday, yeah, I'm just bringing a reading stream tonight. Oh, it's 12:12 a.m. Okay, so I think what we'll do, we're gonna carry on, by the way. We'll try and slam through this chapter. Have you read Lord of the Rings? We're going into that after this. Bilbo was now beginning to feel really uncomfortable. Whenever Smaug's roving eye, seeking for him in the shadows, flashed across him, he trembled and unaccountably desired size hold of him to rush out and reveal himself, and tell the truth to Smaug. In fact, he was in grievous danger of coming under the dragon's spell, but plucking up the courage, he spoke again. You don't know everything, O Smaug the Mighty, said he. Not gold alone brought us hither.
Ha ha! You admit that the us, laughed Smaug. Why not say us 14 and be done with it, Mr. Lucky Number? I am pleased to hear that you had other business in these parts besides my gold. In that case you may, perhaps altogether, waste your time.
Man, I'm trying my best, chat.
I don't know if it occurred to you that even if you could steal the gold bit by bit, a matter of 100 years or so, you could not get very far. Not much use on the mountainside. Not much use in the forest. Bless me. I suppose. Or something like that. Those were the terms, eh? But what about delivery? And Smaug laughed out loud. He had wicked and a wily heart, and he knew his guesses were not far from out, though he suspected that the lake men were at the back of the plans and that most of the plunder was meant to stop. There, in the town by the shore, that in his young days had been called Esgaroth. You will hardly believe it, but poor Bilbo was really very taken aback. So far, all his thoughts and energies had been concentrated on getting to the mountain and finding the entrance. He had never bothered to wonder how the treasure was to be removed. Certainly never how any part of that might fall to his share was to be brought back all the way back to Bag End under the hill. Yo! Hello, I love reading. CJ, thank you very much for the $2 on YouTube, my bro. Thank you very much, brother. I'm glad you enjoy the reading stream, man. I'm trying to be that guy and not be boring and just read it. I want to try and, because I want to do voice acting too. I'm trying to do different voices as well. Damn, I know I'm over here. Not a nasty suspicion began to grow in his mind. Sorry. Had the dwarves forgotten this important point too? Or were they laughing in their sleeves at him all the time? That is the effect of laughing. That is the effect that dragon talk has on the inexperienced. Wait, so is he getting dragon sickness from talking to Smaug? Obviously, this guy does not have speech 1000 points. Bilbo, of course, ought to have been on his guard, but Smaug had rather an overwhelming personality. I tell you, he said, in an effort to remain loyal on his friends and to keep his end up, the gold was only an afterthought with us. We came over the hill and under hill by wave and wind for revenge. Surely, O Smaug, the unaccessibly wealthy, you must realize that your success has made you some bitter enemies. Then Smaug really did laugh a devastating sound, which shook Bilbo to the floor, while far up in the tunnel and the dwarves huddled together and imagined that the hobbit had come to a sudden and nasty end. Revenge? He snorted, and the light of his eyes lit the hall from the floor to the ceiling like scarlet lightning. Revenge! The king under the mountain is dead, and where are his kin that dare seek revenge? Gideon, Lord of Dale, is dead. I have eaten his people like a wolf among sheep. And where are his sons? Sons that dare approach me? I kill where I wish and not dare resist. I lay low the warriors of old that are like in not the world today. Then I was but young and tender. Now I am old and strong. Strong. Thief in the shadows, he gloated. My armor is like tenfold shields. My teeth are swords. My claws are spears. The shock of my tail, a thunderbolt. My wings are a hurricane, and my breath, death. Man, he looks ugly in this one, eh?
Wait, is there Bilbo like hunched over looking for like treasure? These are Bilbucks in the corner there. Looks like a charred. He looks like that one charred piece of food that's stuck in the air fryer that you don't take out, and he just keeps getting cooked. Okay, here we go. I have always understood, said Bilbo, in a frightened squeak. The dragons were softer underneath, especially in the regions of the chest. But doubtless, one so fortified he thought of that. The dragon stopped short in his boasting. Your information is antiquated. I don't know how to say that word. He snapped. I am armored above and below with iron scales and hard gems. No blade can pierce me. I might have guessed it, said Bilbo. Truly, there can be no way to be found the equal of Lord Smaug, the impenetrable. What magnificence to possess a waistcoat of fine diamond. In the color version, you can see Bilbo. Oh, really? Oh, so he's invisible. Okay. Here we go. Yes, and it is rare and wonderful indeed, said Smaug. Absurdly past, he did not know that the hobbit had already caught a glimpse of his peculiar undercovering of his precious visit, and was itching for a closer view for some reason of his own. The dragon rolled over. Look, he said. What do you say to that? Dazzling. Marvelous. Perfect, flawless, staggering, exclaimed Bilbo aloud. But what he thought inside was, old fool. Why, there is a large patch in the hollow of his left breast, as bare as the nail out of his shell. After he had seen Mr. Baggins, one idea was to get away. Well, I really must not detain your magnificence any longer, he said, or keep you from much needed rest. Ponies take some time catching, I believe, after a long start, and so do the burglars. He added as a parting shot as he darted back and fled up the tunnel. It was an unfortunate remark from the dragon, spouted terrific flames after him. As fast though he sped up the slope, he had not gone nearly far enough to be comfortable before the ghastly head of Smaug was thrust against the opening behind. Luckily the whole head and jaws could not squeeze in, but the nostrils sent forth fire and vapour to pursue him, and he was nearly overcome and stumbled blindly on the great pain and fear. He had been feeling rather pleased with the cleverness of his conversation with Smaug, but his mistake at the end shook him into better sense. My man almost got charred. Almost singed his ass hairs. Never laugh at live dragons, Bilbo, you fool, he had said to himself, and it became a favourite saying of his later, and passed into a proverb. You aren't nearly through this adventure yet, he added, and that was pretty true as well. The afternoon was turning into evening when he came out again and stumbled and fell into a faint of the doorstep. The dwarves revived him and doctored his scorches as well as they could, but it was a long time before the hair on the back of his head and his heels grew properly again. It had all been singed and frizzled right down to the skin. In the meanwhile, his friends did their best to cheer him up, as they were eager for his story, especially wanting to know why the dragon had made such an awful noise. and how Bilbo escaped. You ever carve a dragon like Smoke? Nah, brother. Normally, like, with Whakairo, I just carve things from my culture. Yeah. I guess, in a sense, the Manaya does look similar to, like, the worm form dragon. I would say that much. Definitely, you see some sort of similarity there. There we go. But the hobbit was worried and uncomfortable, and had difficulty in getting anything out of him. On thinking things over, he now regretting some of the things he had said to the dragon, and was not eager to repeat them. The old thrush was sitting on the rock nearby, where his head cocked on one side. Listening to all that was said, it shows what an ill temper Bilbo was in. He picked up a stone and threw it at the thrush, which merely fluttered aside and came back. "Drat the bird," said Bilbo crossly. "I believe he is listening, and I don't like the look of him." Man getting mad at a bird. "Leave him alone," said Thorin. "The thrush are good and friendly. This is a very old bird indeed, and this is the last left of the ancient breed that used to live about here. Tamed to the hands of my father and grandfather. They were a long-lived and magical race, and this might have even been one of those that were alive then, a couple of hundreds of years more ago. The men of Dale used the trick of understanding their language, and used them for messengers to fly to the men of the lake and elsewhere. Well, he'll have news to take to Lake Town, all right, if that is what he is after," said Bilbo. "Though I don't suppose there are any people left there in trouble with the thrush language." But this dude is crashing out. "Why, what has happened?" cried the dwarves. "Don't get on with your tale." So Bilbo told them all that he could remember, and confessed that he had a nasty feeling that the dragon guessed too much from his riddles, added to the camp and ponies. "I am sure he knows we came from Lake Town, and help from there, and I have a horrible feeling that his next move may be in that direction. I wish to goodness I had never said that about the barrel rider. It would make even a blind rabbit in these parts think of the lake men. Well, well, if it cannot be helped, and it is difficult not to slip into talking to a dragon, I have always heard," said Balin, anxious to comfort him. "I think you did very well, if you ask me. You found out one very useful thing at any rate, and got home alive. And that is more than most can say who have words with the likes of Smaug. It may be a mercy and a blessing yet to know of the bare patch in the old worm's diamond waistcoat." That's crazy that he didn't know, eh? Like, he didn't know. I mean, do you think he would have scratched his chest and went, "Oh"? Surely. That turned the conversation, and they all began discussing dragon slayings historically, dubious and mythical, and the various sorts of stabs and jabs and undercuts and different art devices and stratagems by which they had been accomplished. The general opinion was that catching a dragon napping was not as easy as it sounded, and the attempt to stick one or prod one asleep was more likely to end in disaster than the bold frontal attack. All the while they talked, the thrush listened, till at last, when the stars began to peep forth, it silently spread its wings and flew away. And all the while they talked and the shadows lengthened, Bilbo became more and more unhappy as his foreboding grew. At last he interrupted them. I am sure we are very unsafe here, he said, and I don't see the point of sitting here. The dragon has withered all the pleasant green, and anyway, the night has come and it's cold, but I feel like in my bones this place will be attacked again. Smaug knows now how I came down to this hall, and you can trust him to guess where the other end of the tunnel is. We will break all the side of the mountain to bits, if necessary, to stop up our entrance, and if we are smashed with it, it's better he will like it.
You are very gloomy, Mr. Buggins,
said Thorin.
Why has not Smaug blocked the lower end, then, if he is so eager to keep us out? He has not, or we should have heard him. I don't know, because at first he wanted to try and lure me in again.
Sorry, this is Bilbo, I suppose, and now perhaps because he's waiting till after tonight's hunt. Or because he does not want to damage his bedroom if he can help it. But I wish you would not argue. Smaug will be coming out at any minute now, and our only hope is to get well in the tunnel and shut the door. He seemed so much in earnest that the dwarves at last did as he said. Though they delayed shutting the door, it seemed a desperate plan, for no one knew whether or how they could get it open again from the inside. And the thought of being shut in a place which the only way out led through the dragon's lair was not one they liked. Also, everything seemed quite quiet, both outside and down the tunnel. So for a longish while they sat inside, not far down from the half-open door, and went on talking. The talk turned to the dragon's wicked words about the dwarves. Bilbo wished he had never heard them, or at least that he could feel quite certain that the dwarves now were absolutely honest when they declared that they had never thought at all about what could happen after the treasure had been won. We knew it'd be a desperate venture, said Thorin, and we now that still. And I still think that when we have won, it will be time enough to think of what to do about it. As for your share, Mr. Baggins, I assure you we are more than grateful, and you shall choose your own 14th as soon as we have anything to divide. I am sorry if you are worried about transport, and I admit that the difficulties are great. The lands have not become less wild with the passing of time, rather the reverse. But we will do whatever we can for you, and take our share of the cost when the time comes. Believe me, or not as you like. Damn, brother man, putting his foot down. Goddamn. From that talk turned to the great hoard itself and to the things that Thorin and Balin remembered. They wondered if they were still lying there unharmed in the hall below. The spears that were made for the armies of the great king. Bloodthorin? Bloodthorin? Long since dead, each had a thrice forged head, and their shafts were inlaid with cunning gold. But they were never delivered or paid for. Shields made for warriors long dead, the great golden cup of thrall, two-handed, hammered and carved with birds and flowers, with whose eyes and petals were of jewels, coats of mail gilded the silver and impenetrable, the necklace of Gideon, Lord of Dale, made of 500 emeralds green as grass, which he gave for the army of his eldest son in the coat of dwarf-linked rings, that like of which had never been made before, for was wrought of pure silver to the power and strength of triple steel. But fairest of all was the greatest white gem, which the dwarves had found beneath the roots of the mountain, the heart of the mountain,
The Arkenstone of Thrain. The Arkenstone, the Arkenstone, murmured Thorin in the dark. Half dreaming with his chin up his knees, it was like a globe with 1,000 faces. It shone like silver in the firelight, like water in the sun, like snow under the stars, like rain upon the moon. But the enchanted desire of the horde had fallen from Bilbo. All through their talk he was only half listening to them. He sat nearest to the door with one ear cocked for any beginnings of sound without. His other was alert for echoes beyond the murmurs of the dwarves, or any whisper of a movement from far below. Here we go. Darkness grew deeper, and he grew ever more uneasy. "Shut the door," he begged them. "I fear the dragon in my marrow. I like the silence far less than the uproar of last night. Shut the door before it's too late." Something in his voice gave the dwarves an uncomfortable feeling. Slowly Thorin shook off his dreams and getting up and kicked away from the stone the wedged door. Then they thrust it open and closed it with a snap and clang! No trace of a keyhole where they left on the inside. They were shut in the mountain. And not a moment too soon, they had hardly gone in any distance down the tunnel when a blow smote the side of the mountain like the crash of battering rams, made of forest oaks and swung by giants. The rocks boomed, the walls cracked, and stones fell from the roof of their heads. What would have happened if the door had still been open? I don't like to think. They fled further down the tunnel, glad to be still alive, while behind the outside they heard the roar and the rumbles of Smaug's fury. He was breaking rocks to pieces, smashing wall and cliff with the lashings of his tail, till their little lofty camping ground, their torch grass, the thrusher's stone, the snail-covered walls, the narrow ledge, all disappeared in the jumble of smithereens, and an avalanche of splintered stones fell over the cliff into the valley below. Smaug had left his lair in silent stealth, quietly soared into the air, and then floated heavy and slow in the dark like a monstrous crow, down the wind towards the west of the mountain in the hopes of catching unawares something or somebody there, and of spying the outlet to the passage which the thief had used. This was the outburst of his wrath when he could find nobody and see nothing. Even where he guessed the outlet must actually be, after he had let off his rage in the way he felt better, and he thought in his heart that he would not be troubled again from that direction. In the meanwhile, he had further vengeance to take. "Barrel Rider," he snorted, "your feet came from the water side, and up the water you came without a doubt. I don't know your smell, but if you are not one of the men of the lake, you had their help. They shall see and remember who is the real king under the mountain."
He rose and fired, went away south towards the running river. Man's about to torch everyone. Yeah, damn. Chapter 14. Not at home. I think for this evening, we will stop there. How did you enjoy that, chat? Hope you all enjoyed that. And that is going to be The Hobbit for the evening. Man, that Smaug voice takes a bit out of me, eh? But I feel like it helps for immersion reasons. Barrel Rider. You did a great job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Whew, yeah, man. Jeepers. Hope everyone on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick enjoyed that. Sad I missed it. I will upload this VOD immediately. Gotta give up the smokes. Stop smoking. I don't smoke, by the way, but yeah. Kia ora, brother. You'll definitely make it in the voice sector if you stick with it. Thank you, bro. I definitely hope so. I just want to do it for funny. As the advice from the bro told me. So the one who told me just to do it for fun and everything will fall into place was the bro Menace Maid, who is the voice actor for Roadhog. I met him at BlizzCon. So that is something I am definitely gonna try and push next year. Is just put myself out there, try and get some opportunities for myself and see how it goes, pretty much. And if it goes well, good. If it doesn't go well, we keep trying. I'm not gonna give up. That was cool. I genuinely enjoyed that. Oh, nice. Done a bit of a cheeky 2-hour stream. Let's go. Thank you very much, everyone, for the subs and the follows as well. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, please let me know. And I will say thank you very much. If I can get 1 subscriber every day, then, you know, I'll be happy with their progress too. Start with the fun little things. Yeah, bro. So there's a few opportunities to jam with indie games coming up. So our next reading stream, what's tomorrow? Wednesday. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. The main reason why I have breaks in between is just to give my voice a rest. But if I'm up to it tonight, we'll do it. But just know tomorrow is a carving day. We are doing the tiki tomorrow. I did mold a little bit of the face. Well, I didn't. It was the guy that interviewed me today. I got him to have a jam. So tomorrow we will be doing the face of the tiki. That's going to be our main focus tomorrow. So we'll run that and we'll see how we go. But it should be genuinely like straightforward. I uploaded a little video of it on the Instagram video. Have you heard the book, man? Yeah, I don't know. Like when it comes to what I'm going to read next, I haven't really thought that far ahead. Because I feel like I'm going to be on Lord of the Rings for a while, which is okay. But I guess after Lord of the Rings, I haven't really thought about it. I definitely would like to read some Warhammer stuff too. Yeah, my bro, I'll probably have like some Cure as well. Some Cure drink thing. Okay. Well, beautiful people, that is going to be us for the evening. I hope you all enjoyed it. Just know, I'll be live at around 9:30. Hey, what up, Donkey? How you, brother? I just finished reading tonight, my bro. How you doing? You been looking after yourself? Sorry, I haven't been in the server lately. I've been busy. As you can probably see behind me, celebrating my daughter's 5th birthday yesterday. Yesterday is in 43 minutes ago. Hey, what's up, Blaze? How you, brother? Yeah, you need to try and get in some more RP, man. I miss doing Red Dead RP, so I definitely wanna try and get something going again. Cause what was the last thing we did? Was the Halloween stuff, eh? That's when we were at the ball thingy. Thursday there is a meeting. Okay, I'll try and be in on Thursday. I'll either be Francis or Hubert if it's a crim one. If it's just another meeting, I'll just turn up as Tommy. But bro, that chapter was pretty mean. I don't know how many chapters we have left. It looks like it's getting close to like the final showdown. One of the best Warhammer 40k books is, if you can find, is the Night Lords Omnibus. Yeah, I heard there's obviously my favorite factions are Conqueridons and Salamanders, but I know like Ultramar has quite a, like the Ultramarines have quite a bit, eh? Your reading's been getting me into books more recently, so thanks for that, my bro. My older brother's been in NZ fishing and he says it's beautiful. Hope to visit your beautiful country one day. Oh, nice, brother Tim. I hope you've been enjoying the reading, my bro. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be me for the next 3 books after The Hobbit as well. Okay. That's going to be us, chat. I am going to go to bed. I'm lying. I'm going to have 1 game of League of Legends, then I'm going to go to bed. But yeah, for now, GG's. Thank you very much for tuning into the reading stream. If I'm up to it tomorrow, we'll do another one, just so we can get back onto our normal days as usual. But I want to say thank you very much to everyone on Twitch for tuning in, the follows, the subs as well. We are close to 500 again. And I want to say thank you very much. Another big thank you to YouTube as well. Coming through, man, it's so good to have people coming through to the YouTube channel. That's why I've been constantly uploading shorts to the channel as well. And thank you very much to all those on Kick that were watching too. So for now, chat, I'm going to love and leave yous. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Eat healthy. Drink 6 liters of water like me. Piss like a champion. Alright? For now, I am going to go bitch. Love yous all. Appreciate yous all. And I will see yous all tomorrow. Or in a couple hours. Let's at least try and get the face molded today.